Okay, so first video. Here's where it all happens. There's the KD up on the stand. And then here's, you know, junk and parts and stuff. And there's the current state of the F7. Just waiting for parts. They're coming. You know, just money and time. Tires for the F7 and an old tire off the Harley. And then today our project is to make a cable up. So hopefully we have what we need here to come up with a cable, because I bought this cable from the interwebs, and it was to replace this cable. And this cable was the broken clutch cable on the KD, and sadly I bought the OEM cable and I connected it all under here. I'll try to get a light going so you can see under here. I'll try to show you. I made the connection there, so that's awesome. And everything's good, and then I routed it, maybe poorly, but I routed it, and I did it. That looks pretty closed. And then there's supposed to be enough slack here to fix over this lever, but there's just not enough cable. I need to extend, and then even if there was, that cable looks short. I mean, it looks short. So I have to extend the cable, and I have to extend the inside. So I got these donors, but they don't look very long, do they? This is the old throttle cable from my wife's Harley. They look pretty short, so that's no good. And then I have this clutch cable. It's up here. Moving junk. This clutch cable. There's two apparently. Two clutch cables. Well, maybe it's just, I don't know what it is. Let's get it out. Two clutch cables. I'm not good at this, so bear up. Also, from the Harley, they're like handlebar iterations, so we're going to try to get one of these clutch cables working with the KD7. Okay, well, it looks very interesting. They look a lot thicker, don't they? Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. Oh yeah, they're thicker. That's a throttle cable. They're thicker. Okay, so I'm going to start sorting this out, and then I'm going to bring you back when I'm actually doing something. Okay, so first I'm going to take this cable off the bike, and then I'm going to try to get something going with one of these other cables. So bear up, I'll be back. Don't get lonely. Okay, so we've come up with a loose plan. And the loose plan is as follows. I need a cable this is the OEM cable they sent me, like that, you know, doesn't fit. Okay, so we're back. So the plan is this cable is too short. It's the OEM cable, but there's just not enough slack in it. You see? It's just, I need about 4 inches of open cable, and I'm not seeing it. Okay, so, and it's marginally long enough as it is. So I found this cable in my cable collection, and I looked them all over, and I found this old clutch cable from changing handlebars on some Harley, and you know, it's thicker and longer. Never a complaint about that. So, and my plan is to remove the ring, use this to donate a knot, like that knot, and then to right here at the separation, separate and use this old section of cable cover here for the bottom, and then this is the old one as well here. Cut this end off. That looks pretty specific. Cut that end off and use it on the end of this cable and through this cover, and it should work there at the bottom. Everything works. I'll fix that. I'll show you how I'm going to fix that. And you know, we're not going to the moon here. We're just trying to get this working, and I think it's going to work. So I'm going to turn you off, and I'm going to turn you back on while I fix the cable thing. Okay, I'm back, and now this is what I'm trying to repair. And then this is some heat shrink. It's 4-to-1 heat shrink with glue. I bought that on AliExpress because I'm cheap, but you can get it on Amazon, whatever. And I'm going to put it over the thing. I'm going to see what I can do about this camera. Maybe there's a smarter way. You have to bear with me. This is my first video ever. So, not that that's a big deal. I just don't know how to do this. Let's put this in the vise. See how that works. Not well. Let's put it like that. And then we'll put that like that. That's not working well either. So, like that. Hey, there we go. Okay. That's good enough. I'm not going to the moon. Okay, so you can see basically there. So here it is. Get the heat shrink over. Nice. And heat shrink. Okay, that's my cable jacket repair right there. And it's good enough. It's good enough. I cleaned this off with brake cleaner first, so okay, so here we go. I'm gonna try to shut it off, and then I'm going to get back on when I get to the end there, or to something else that's important. Potent. Inputted. So I'm going to cut this right here to get started. So cut that. Nothing like cutting steel cable, I'll tell you that. So need to leave that pretty long. So that went well. Okay, so that's cut. And this is the part I can see on that. You can see that? Yeah, I think you can see that. I can still see the soldering that went on with that back in the day. 40 years ago. This is a 40-year-old motorcycle. There's the end I need. So let's get that cleaned up. Okay, we're back. Still learning the process here. So now I'd like to put a little bit of, I'd like to have the camera stay on that. Wow, there are those super geniuses from YouTube when you need them. So it's gonna be like that. That's upside down. I can try to hold it a bit, but do that. Why don't I put it over here? What will that do? I have a mini tripod, which is what I have. Sorta. So I have the map gas here. Pliers. I'm just going to try to keep the solder. I've got a little fitting here right in the vise, so I'm try to heat it. Off the solder, pull it out. Solder's melting, but I'm not having a whole ton of activity. Bit of cable. There. That's the end pretty cleaned up. Okay, the newly formed cable has the new cable has a little plastic jacket on it. Gotta try to remove that. So here we go. Trying to remove that. Okay, let's do that. Let's get a clamp. A clamp might work. The clamp drawer. Maybe I can put this up like that. Of course, I can't see what it's seeing. Wow. Really new at this. So, well, let's just do it this way. So I'm going to clear that off and get that all ready and then get out the plumbing stuff, and I'll bring you back when I'm soldering it on. So now I've got this on. I got the plastic peeled off a little bit. I'm just trying to peel back to unravel. Wow, this is such a pain in the ass. Don't try to become an influencer. Trying to peel this cable. Just try to see, I got a few strands there already, and I'm just going to have to ditch the camera while I do a few strands here. Okay, so we're more or less ready here. I got the plumbing box out there. And I put this little 1/2-inch cap in the vise, and I put a few chunks of solder in it. I'm not saying this is the only way or the best way to do this, but this is how I do it. And so here I have the cable with the little fitting that I need on the end of it. I've frayed the end of the cable there, so it's all frayed up, and then I put flux all over it. So it's fluxed. This is just plumbing stuff. That's tin solder. I can't remember. That's, anyways, doesn't really matter the type of solder. If you have solder, it'll work. So don't get bent on that. So I'm going to put this back here again, because this is the only real spot I have right now. Maybe one day I'll do better. But this is just really to get try it. I'm just trying. So here we go. I'm going to heat that a bit just to get that flux to melt down over the bottom. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And now I'm going to move that amongst all of the frayed pieces. Good. Now I'm going to melt the solder in the little cup. And dip it. Looking as soldered as I'd like. Okay. Not pretty, but it's going to work. So now I'm going to turn you guys off, and basically I'm going to clean up that end in the grinder a wee bit so that it looks all pretty. Okay, let's do that. Okay, we ground that up, and let's just see if I can show it to you. There it is. It's all cleaned up and ground, and that's good enough, I tell you. But I forgot to put the little rubber boot on there. Maybe I can get it over this little rubber boot here, although we don't need it, so let's move forward. Now I have to get this end sorted out, so I'm going to do a little math. I need 4 inches of protrusion, and then I need to cut this little ball into this little, cut a piece off of this and make it into looking like that, and I'll bring you back when I have something going on. Okay, so here we go. So I'm making up my little slug here, and I guess I made up my first one. I cut it at 10 millimeters and took it over to the grinder, and then I was grinding the ends to make them nice and pretty, and then the little flat section, and then of course it skipped out of my pliers, and it's somewhere in the garage now. So then I started a second one, but I got a little smarter. I cut it, and then I made a little mark for the 10 mil, and then I ground the flat, and then I punched it while it was all connected so that it was like way easier. And now I'm about to cut that off and finish that up, and then I'm going to drill a hole, like an 1/8 inch hole through it, and then do the same process. So I'll bring you back when I'm doing that. So let's try that. Okay, so just a little update. I've got this end in tight. I've got the old end sheath on. Got it tight under the adjuster. Pulled it here. Pulled it tight. Everything's tight together. Awesome. So cable's tight. I came out here. I need 4 inches of slack before this little bullet that I made up, and I drilled the hole in it there, you see. So I put that at 4, which is where I need it. And then I added a little bit, and I put a Sharpie mark, because a hair long is better than a hair short. You know, you don't have to use all of it. So I'm going to cut it just about there, maybe a little inside of there, and put it through that and fray it, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, we're back. I had a little mishap in the grinder when I was trying to get this end down 1 millimeter in the grinder. Well, the grinder crabbed it and ripped it out of my hands, so that's the result. So I cut the end off of the old cable, and I cut it clean on this cable, and then I just put that end on there, and then I put a couple of layers of shrink wrap on, and I shrink wrapped the whole affair. So it's kind of good actually, because it fits into the lever nicely now. So I got this all set up. I got my little homemade knob there on that I made out of a bit of a spike, and I cleared off this little plastic sheathing, and then I frayed the end, and I measured it all out, so it's 4 inches clear cable right there, 4 inches of clear cable. So that's all awesome. So now I'm going to flux it up, and I've got my little thing, cup in the vise here, my little 1/2 inch cap that I'm using as a cup. So I'm going to set this over here, and hopefully that'll do. So here's the flux, it's just plumber's flux, nothing special. And I'm going to flux it up. flux is good because the solder only goes where there's flux. Okay, so I can do that later. Here we are, a little heat. Do that. Let that cool. And then I'm going to grind the end flat just like I did with the other one. I just grind all of that extra stuff and it should be great. It should be great. So I'm going to shut this off. Bring you back when we're installing. Okay, well, installing's not that much excitement, but just to say, just a testament to my incredible skills with measuring and devotion to accuracy. So there it is in there. And then to get it in that slot, which isn't too difficult really. It goes in like that, and then the end has to tuck in. That's good. It's all good. And then that end goes in there pretty simply like that. Of course, when you're older and you can't see, everything's just a little bit more of a challenge. But I think I got it there. Okay, that's all good. That's awesome. Okay, let's go up top. And the top is right here. I stuck it in that. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not, but I did that. And then put this, I don't know where, right here maybe. Right there. We'll see what you can see. I guess that's good enough. I'll just try to stay out of the way. And then this comes like this. Goes in there. There's a little thing we made. In there like that. Comes across there like that. And with a little adjusting, it should be okay. Well, that's working. I'm not sure if it's enough. Yeah, I think I need a bit more. That's about it on that adjuster. Maybe I'll have to make it a little shorter. Well, let's... Okay. Well, that's basically in there. It looks like I got a little bit of clutch repair to do, so we can do that on the next video, clutch repair. Here we go.